guys, Villain with the Villain Report up here in Seattle's Cal Anderson Park, just formerly CHOP just a couple weeks ago. Completely lawless territory full of shootings, violence, stabbings, sexual assault, all kinds of nasty things. Right now, it is a Christian church revival tonight with a couple thousand people here. This group was here last night in Portland, Oregon, actually, at the waterfront. So this is the same revival group. So they're here doing a party, and I'm going to kind of try to check it out for you guys. Kind of cool seeing such a different vibe here than it was 3 weeks ago. You guys know that I'm a God believer, but I'm not quite a Christian. But I can't tell you how nice it is to see something like this in this place where just a few weeks ago, about a month ago, I was here during a crazy shooting, or two boys got brutally shot up and one died. One is pretty closely there. So this is 180 spins. Just to be clear, in case you didn't hear me, this is CHOP. This was the end of CHOP before it was disbanded. The very back end of it, but it was still part of CHOP. Just because I'm so close to the sound system that I'm probably muffled. Sorry about that. Somebody's shouting out the black conservative preacher. I'm trying to look for him. There he is, my buddy, black conservative preacher, right there behind me, guys. Get up on top of this little rock thing here. See a couple familiar faces here. I see him, Black Preacher. He's trying to think about how he can get up here with his gimbal. It's kind of a little tricky climb up here.
Only God could change a region with the sun. So we just prophesy all up and down.
I don't know how many of you watching had anything to do with CHOP, if you were there, if you were involved in it, or just affected by watching the videos out of it. But being there when all that stuff went down for me, and then seeing this here today, it's just such a contrasting vibe and energy compared to the lawlessness and death and crime and violence that was here a month ago. This is pretty amazing. I don't care what your views are on religious points of view, but the peace here compared to the violence and destruction that was here recently, pretty amazing. I'm gonna give Black Preacher a hand up here. I'm gonna help my buddy come up here. Is that all right, buddy? Thank you. Hey, Preacher. You got it. Yeah, there's room to get up here. All right. He's gonna go for a pass on that. Oh, sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to bonk you. All right. Haven't seen a chat yet. I'm gonna let the chat here.
Sing of his faithfulness, of his kindness, of his goodness, of his love.
So I know this is probably not everybody's vibe, you know. It's not really my crowd either, but I'm all for the peace. And
you don't come to bring condemnation.
As I've been saying, I'm sorry for repeating myself, but it's just amazing to see this place used for such a drastically different purpose than it was just a month ago.
Pour out your kindness in Seattle, Washington. Rivers of mercy. Rivers of love.
Meowry's in the chat. She says she can't believe she never thought she'd see something like this. Yeah, I can tell you guys, I'm probably the most blown away by this after I haven't been here since the morning after the shooting. So it's kind of visceral driving into the neighborhood and walking into this area, and then to see this, it's just pretty amazing. Guys, if you could show me some respect in the chat, and I'd like to keep it a free speech place. Share your views, express your opinions. If you do it kindly and respectful, please don't spam in here. Please don't attack each other or target harassment for each other. Now, everybody's got their different views, but guys, legitimately, the last time I was here, people were getting shot and killed. This is such a different vibe here. Hey, buddy, you from the area? No. No?
Live streaming?
Yeah, I'm live. I was here the night of the last shooting, and I was involved with transporting one of the boys. So this is the first time back here, so it's crazy to see the difference. Yeah. Yeah.
You were here when everything happened?
Yeah. I was tweeting out the video of everybody running around, the shots firing. I helped one of the boys get transported to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hero.
It's crazy seeing the park used for such a different purpose.
They should have shut their mouths, but they didn't. And Paul and Silas are in that prison, and they just begin to sing. The first thing the enemy tries to do is steal your song. But if you keep singing, that's where the breakthrough is. And I kept singing. And then boom, every prison door was open. that aren't even singing, people that don't even care. God, open the prison doors.
Elk natives in the crowd. So this is in Seattle, Oregon right now, or Seattle, Washington. This is the park this is on the north end of what used to be CHOP. So off in that distance was where the main ball field was, where CHOP was kind of centered around down there. And I know a couple of shootings happened right in this very spot where the people are singing. All right, I'm gonna get down off here and try to go talk to some people. I'm gonna squeeze through you guys, excuse me. Thank you so much. So that's a little tiny mountain thing that I was just on. Hey, bud, how you doing? I'm live streaming, looking for people to interview. I was here the night of the shooting, and I helped transport one of the boys to the hospital. Are you local?
Washington State.
To the state? So have you been to CHOP area before? I know it's not CHOP anymore.
No, first day.
First day? Oh. Looking for someone to comment on how drastic differently it is here today versus the last time I was here was the morning after the shooting. It's kind of blowing my mind right now. Is it okay if I put you on live stream and ask you a couple questions? Yeah? So give me a name I can call you. It doesn't have to be your real name.
I'm David.
David, nice to meet you, David. What brings you out to the Cal Anderson Park for this tonight?
I'm worshiping with my brothers and sisters.
All right, you're a Christian guy? Right on. So did you watch any of the coverage and what was going on here a month ago in CHOP?
A little bit.
Yeah? So what are your thoughts on just seeing online or on the news or whatever you saw, and then the different atmosphere here today? How's that seem to you?
180 degrees different.
Yeah, I can tell you that from being here during CHOP. I was up here filming and documenting. It's just so different. It's kind of overwhelming. So, like that night, the shooting, I had one of the boys that held him in my lap on the way to the hospital. So to see this drastic, it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for talking. You have a good day. Got a Hail Satan over there. They're concerned about the COVID conspiracy theory. They want masks to be put on. I think the country needs to rise up against these nonsense laws. Part of this revival here is started in the beaches of California. They were on Portland at the waterfront last night. They're here tonight. Part of it is they're kind of standing up against the freedom of assembly that's being taken away from churches across the country, and people aren't allowed to meet up and have their worship services, supposedly due to COVID, but seems more like an attempt to control things, if you ask me. Hey, bud, how you doing? I'm live streaming. Is it okay if I interview you? So I'm a live streamer. I was here in CHOP filming. I was here the night of the shooting. That's the last time I was here, the morning after. I actually held the 14-year-old boy in my lap on the way to the hospital. And so I'm here today just seeing how drastically different it is. It's kind of overwhelming to me. Are you from the area? Yeah, what can I call you? Just make up a name. We'll call you John.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I'm VillainPhoenix on YouTube. I sent out live tweets of video that night. Right now I'm live on YouTube. It's VillainPhoenix. I have Twitter, and I have Facebook is the Villain Report. But I got about 130 people watching right now. Usually I'm covering the riots. What do you think? Did you see CHOP while it was happening live?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's your opinion on how drastically it is different right now? I'm gonna get a little closer so they can hear you.
It's a good thing. It's trying to replace darkness with light.
Yeah, so are you here as part of this group? You a Christian guy?
Not exactly, but I'm in alignment.
Yeah, I believe in God. I'm not quite a Christian. I have a little hang up on the resurrection, but I believe in God, and I believe the Bible's got a lot of wisdom in it. So, but mostly I'm just overwhelmed by the peaceful atmosphere here today versus the last night I was here. It was anything but peaceful.
It's very intentional.
Yeah.
It's a replacement.
Yeah.
Healing.
I think that all sounds true to me. Yeah.
So you're from Phoenix?
No, my YouTube, I have an online presence. You can see I'm wearing a mask. I've been jumped in the riots and attacked because I go down there and film. Antifa is targeting me. So, and I was here the night of the shooting, and I put out a bunch of video of the people running around with guns and the active fire that was going on. And so I conceal my identity. But anyways, my YouTube, my online presence is Villain, like Muhohaha, and then Phoenix, like the bird rising from the fire. So VillainPhoenix. I'm live on YouTube right now, and I'm also on Twitter and Twitch and Facebook. So I got a little bit of presence. I've been trying to document the riots and the unrest as unbiasedly as possible and show what's really going on down there. So it's nice to take a break from that, though. See this.
It's certainly a lot easier to take as a local resident.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I ask, and feel free, remember we're online, so don't give too much information you don't want to give, but are you local to the Capitol Hill area?
Yeah.
So you,
Just a few blocks from here.
so you probably felt some effects of CHOP taking over this area, huh?
I didn't feel like going out towards the end.
Yeah, it got pretty dangerous. That's reasonable.
Didn't feel safe.
Are you part of the class action lawsuit that the neighborhood's putting against the city?
I don't know anything about it.
I know some of the residents and business owners in the CHOP area are suing the city for what happened.
I think they have standing.
I do too. I think it's completely reasonable that they should win and win a lot of money.
I don't know if the mayor will get reelected over that. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, I think the mayors of Portland and Seattle and some other cities need to go to prison right now.
Well, at the very least, they need to be replaced.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Anonymous John, thank you for the interview. You stay safe in this neighborhood. I can tell that we're both in agreement. This is good to see change here.
It's a good neighborhood.
Yeah? All right, you have a good day. Thank you for talking. So I got 2 super chats. Pommy Mommy sent $4.99. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. You are unbiased. Bless you. Be safe. And we got a 50 spot. Thank you so much. Tim is quiet and just sent out a 50. So thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate that. So we'll keep walking around and seeing people's perspectives on this. Trying to take people, I think. How you doing? I'm live streaming. I was here the night of the shooting and have transported one of the boys. This is the first time I've been back here, and it's kind of overwhelming me seeing how different it is here. You care if I ask you some questions about what's going on here?
His English is not really good. I would choose another person.
Can I talk to you?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So I think they were saying that they were immigrants. The English wasn't that great, and they asked not to be a part of it. So we'll get somebody. Hey, man. I'm live streaming. I've been documenting the riots for about 2 months. I was here the night of the last shooting. I actually held the 14-year-old boy in my lap and transported him to the hospital. So the morning after was the last time I was up here. So today it's pretty crazy for me to see the difference. Yeah. Can I interview you on live stream and ask you some questions?
No, sorry.
No? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
I appreciate it, though.
Well, can I audio interview you and keep you off the camera?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. You see, there's still a little bit of trepidation on people's parts for the things that happen up here. I'm sure people are hesitant to be a part of this. So, trying to stereotype people, I guess, and see who will be willing to give me an interview. Let's try this guy right here. How you doing, sir?
Good.
I'm live streaming. I'm looking for someone to interview. Are you from this area locally?
I'm from this area, yeah.
So the last time I was up here, I've been documenting the riots for about more than 2 months. I was up here the night of the Jeep shooting, the 2 boys. I held the 14-year-old boy in my lap in the backseat of the car and took him to the hospital. That was the last time I was here. So today's the first time I've come back.
So sorry.
And
Just
so
have these 3 kids here.
Oh, that's fine. It's good to see kids everywhere. It's good to see kids playing in this park.
Yes.
But
Do you want me to put a mask, by the way? Let me.
oh, you're fine. You do what you want to do. I think that stuff's nonsense. I keep my privacy because I've been attacked by Antifa for filming the riots.
Oh.
So can I put you on camera and ask you a few questions?
And, where is this gonna go to?
I'm live on YouTube right now. My YouTube name is VillainPhoenix. So
Okay.
I've been documenting these riots.
Okay.
So you said you are from the area, right?
I am from
What can we call you? You don't have to give your real name. Just give us a nickname if you want.
No, that's okay. Zaka.
Zaka, okay. And so you're from this area?
Yes.
Did you see what was going on here during COP?
I am not from Seattle.
Oh, yeah?
From the greater Seattle area.
Okay. So I noticed that there's a couple people I've talked to already with your accent. Is there a certain church that showed up here?
Yeah, there are a few people from Brazil.
Brazil? Is there a Brazilian church somewhere in the area?
Yes.
Yeah, where's, if you don't want to, remember you're on live stream and you're on the internet, so keep whatever details you want to keep.
Thank you for reminding me. No, it's in Woodinville.
Woodinville?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, what do you think about, so you knew about CHOP, right? The autonomous zone that was here, did you hear about it?
No, I know that there have been tons of protests.
Oh, yeah?
Things are happening, but I don't know like in detail
All right.
everything that happens, right?
Okay. How far did you drive to come to this? I don't know where Woodinville is.
So I come from average, so it's about 30 minutes.
Oh, not too far, not too far. I know wherever it is. So you come out just to be part of I think they're calling this a revival, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
What makes you want to, I try to interview people all across the board and try to be unbiased. So I just want to hear what's your story? Why are you out here? What's going on?
That's right. So me and this group of people here, we believe that God has something very special for the region of the Northwest, of the Pacific Northwest. And we believe as well, this is something that we're Christians. And we believe that the Bible says when there's 2 or 3 people united in the name of Jesus, He comes in. So imagine how many 2s and 3s we have here, right? So
A couple thousands.
Yes. Our understanding is that there's something very special that God is kind of generating in our hearts, and we want to pour it out. So the first thing that we do is to just kind of bring the throne to Him.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that this city, this region, more than ever, needs a different answer. You know, something that nothing else, riots, politics, economics, social mindsets. I believe that God goes beyond all this and can bring real transformation, real equality, real equity, you know, to our region.
Yeah. I try to look at things from all different kinds of points of view.
Yeah.
And I know you're coming from the scriptural point of view,
Yeah.
but I can even back up with what you're saying with some science. There's this thing called a mirror neuron in people's brains, humans' brains. And so there's like these particles in our brains that like move around a certain way. And then when we get close to each other and we share ideas and thoughts, some of the particles in our brains start mirroring each other and start actually like doing the same things. Like we actually become like, in a sense, become one in a certain sense.
Whoa.
So there's actually some scientific like credibility to what you're saying. It's not just a religious point of view, but yeah. So
This is I wanna definitely get your, because I need to learn this.
all right.
It's one backing up the other, right?
Yeah. I think that faith and reason and science and religion often get a hard rap because they're so hard to set the two together. But I don't find they contradict each other. I find that they're a duality and they kind of dance with each other.
It's unbelievable the amount of things that we say the same way, you know. And me as a faith believer and a science believer as well, I'm with you. You know, it's many times they just say the same things, but because they choose different words, they clash. And I hope that one day these words will go down too.
I hope so too. I'm tired of the riots and all the violence. So you said you wanted to look me up. So just remember, I'm Villain, like Muhohaha, Phoenix, like the rising bird from the fire. So that's YouTube. And if you look at the video that we're doing right now, it'll be up later. In the description, I'll have all my links to my social media there. So you can look me up on Twitch or Twitter or Facebook. So,
Sounds good, VillainPhoenix. That sounds good.
all right. What was your name again?
Zeka.
Zaka. I remember that it was an English name with a little bit of more.
There we go. That's it.
Zaka. All right. You have a good day.
Nice to have you here. You too, man.
Thank you. Thank you for the. Thank you.
God spoke to my wife and I and said, son and daughter, go there and proclaim a message of unity, healing, and racial reconciliation.
So this is a little bit different than the events I've been checking out recently. But I hear a Christian church revival is going to take place in CHOP. I wanted to come up and check it out. I'm going to take a look at the chats here for a second. I want to call out my super chat again. So Tim sent in a $50 spot, so that's awesome. Thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate that greatly. And then, we got the Great Deception. Says, fear Yahweh and keep His commandments, for the whole is the duty of man.
And people across racial boundaries, black, white, and brown,
we can get somebody to give me an interview.
On that corner, lift one hand. I want to leave you to that. I want you to shout and say, let the healing begin.
Hey, how you doing? I'm live streaming. I'm trying to find someone local to talk to.
The healing begin.
My name, I'm VillainPhoenix online. I've been documenting the riots for a couple months. I was here the night of the shooting, and I held one of the boys in my lap on the 28th and took him to the hospital. So this is my first time back to this area, and it's kind of blowing my mind how different things are right now.
So crazy, yeah.
Can I interview you on live stream? All right, can we do audio?
Sure.
All right. So we'll call you John. All right. So you're local to Seattle area?
Yeah.
So did you get to see personally what was going on at CHOP recently?
Recently, no, but
I mean, when it was happening last month.
yeah.
Yeah. What is your opinion on viewing what's happening today versus the contrast of what was going on here just a month ago?
Yeah, I think when you compare things, right?
Yeah.
When you compare things, it's easy to villainize either side when you're comparing.
Uh-huh.
I would say, if I were to just explain just physically what it looks like, one was full of tension, uncertainty, confusion, anger, frustration, and one is, and today is really out of hunger, like just a desire to be unified, desire to be genuine, desire to address conflict, not in a confrontational way, but
Yeah.
in a deep interpersonal way. So.
All right. Are you do you come here because you're a Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I believe in God. I'm not quite a Christian, but I value the Bible.
I live as if God exists. That's how I
God
live.
exists. I believe that God exists. Nobody can shake me of that. I have a little bit more difficult with the resurrection of the Jesus. So you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be easy to believe that.
I think so too. You know. I think
Yeah.
sometimes I have a hard time with simple. I don't want to characterize them slanderously, but sometimes I see certain sects of Christianity as seeming very simplistic or surfacey, and they make it sound like it's all just so easy and simple, and all the answers are to be had just first day, you know. And I'm a little trepidatious about that. I think that's a second, but anyways, well, thank you for sharing your point of view. Let me ask you one more question. Well, how do you feel seeing this compared to what was happening here a month ago? Does it strike any emotions in you?
Yeah, I'd say emotion-wise, there's a very tangible feeling when we walked out.
Here?
Sure, definitely.
How would you describe that feeling?
It was overwhelming in a good way.
Yeah? Right on. Well, thank you for the interview. You have a good night, man. So I'm going to pop back off and take a look at the chat for a second. So, I'll give you my perspective on this event, not in contrast to CHOP, but you know, you guys hear me talking. I believe in God very much. I believe in a lot of the wisdom in the Bible. I'm not quite a Christian. I don't want to lie and say that I'm a Christian because I have a hard time believing in the resurrection and some of the other similar claims in the Bible. But I do like Christianity and the philosophy and wisdom therein. But I usually shy away from kinds of stuff like this because it's, in my opinion, these things are kind of hyper emotional, and I haven't experienced good outcomes when movements are led really strongly by feelings and emotions. Not saying they're saying anything wrong here or that their thinking is wrong. I'm just I shy away from very emotional movements. So I'll read the chat here if anybody wants to pop up any questions or give any suggestions. If you want to see anything, I could take a look around something. Miari says, Fringe Christianity might help you understand. I needed it broke down in a non-mainstream way to understand. Undeniable revelation sealed the deal for me. I have yet to see anybody claim that any revelation or prophecy and then convince me of it. Obviously, that could be because I'm not listening, but I have not found it to be rational in the forms that I've seen so far. But you know what? Maybe I haven't looked enough.
You could be on this audience tonight and you're saying, Charles, I want to be reconciled with God right now. I know I'm a sinner. I know I've been walking.
So Whitey Limpstock is asking what's really going on here. So this is Cal Anderson Park in Seattle. This is where CHOP or Chaz used to be just a month ago. And so this is a religious group that's having what they call a Christian church revival. They were in Portland, Oregon at the waterfront last night. Recently they were opening church on the beaches of California. Part of this is a response to the churches being closed down in many, many states. So I am definitely in favor of their standing up for the right to assemble. That's a constitutional right in the country. And honestly, I think that the excuse of taking away church gatherings for COVID is frankly nonsense. And I don't understand why Christians across the country aren't the ones flipping out, standing against the government when they're telling people they can't go to church anymore. Sometimes Christians are too polite. I like to see these people standing for the right to gather. Kimberly Ord says to find the black conservative preacher. You can see his orange shirt way off in the distance back there. But he's a buddy of mine. We may or may not have come here together today. Possibly. Who knows? Let's see if I can interview somebody. Oh, so these people are very upset about the mask. Like, they're wearing their own mask, so they're protected, right? So if you're not wearing a mask, you're making it worse. You put an effing mask on. So. Hey bud, I'm live streaming. You want to tell the audience what you're about, what you're doing?
I think everyone that's not wearing a mask here is ignorant and selfish, and they're spreading the virus and have no consideration for others.
Do you know anybody that's died from the COVID?
Personally, no, but I've known people tested positive for it.
Yeah. Have you been to one of the hospitals recently?
No, but my mom is a nurse and she works in the hospitals.
Yeah.
And I have very good friends who work in the hospitals here who have to deal with the overwhelming amount of COVID patients.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on COVID?
I think it's a terrible pandemic, and if people would just stop fucking masks, it would help.
Yeah.
It's not that big of an inconvenience.
What do you think about the argument that if a mask works, then people should wear it to protect themselves? And if they don't want to wear it,
themselves. I wear one to protect myself. I wear one to protect others.
Yeah. But so I'm being devil's advocate here. I also, I'll be honest, I'm on the other end of the spectrum for the COVID. I don't buy into it as much. I do think that it's a real virus and people are getting sick from it, but the laws across the country change. Part of the reason why people are gathering here is because the churches have been forbidden from gathering.
Lots of people have been forbidden from gathering. That's just what we have to deal with to make this better.
Yeah.
It sucks that people can't gather, but it also sucks worse that millions and millions of people are dying.
I don't think millions and millions of people are dying from COVID.
Where do you have facts to base that?
There's World Health Matters that's got all the information on there. There's hundreds of thousands of people that have been attributed to dying from COVID.
Hundreds of thousands of people, but still hundreds of thousands of people should not have died from this.
What about the argument that people make that happens every year with the flu?
I mean, that sucks too. But the flu doesn't have the infection rate that COVID does.
Some people
is way higher infection rate than the flu. And please like to be done with this interview.
Okay, well, thanks for giving your thoughts, man. I appreciate you sharing your point of view. Got a little angry when I was giving a little pushback to what he was saying.
In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Trying to find someone I think might get into, you know? Kind of tricky to pick that out. Hey bud, how you doing? I'm live streaming. I'm trying to get someone to interview. Are you from the area here?
Oh no.
No. Did you get to see CHOP live at all?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Is it okay if I put you on live stream? Talk to you for a second?
No, I'd
Okay.
rather not.
Okay. That's fine. You don't have to push me away. I'll respect you.
Okay. I wasn't pushing, I was just blessing you.
Yeah. Okay.
God bless you, man.
He started putting his hand on my shoulder and pushing me away. Well, I mean, he wasn't trying to be too aggressive, but I don't like that. Try. How you doing, man? I'm live streaming. I'm looking for someone local to the area that saw CHOP before it was shut down. Are you local here? No. Everybody kind of came in from out of the area for the most part, huh?
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, I've been around this area.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm trying to look for like a certain dynamic to interview, but I'm really just wanting to interview anybody. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I've been documenting the riots. Is it okay if I interview you on live stream?
Sure.
Yeah. So what can I call you? You don't have to give your real name if you're not comfortable. You can. Mark, nice to meet you. I go by VillainPhoenix online. I've been documenting the riots since they started more than 2 months ago. I was here 1 month ago when the white Jeep got shut up. I carried one of the 14-year-old boy in my lap and sat in the back of the car and held him on the way to the hospital. That was the morning after was the last time I was here until right now. And so just walking into this area kind of gave me some anxiety, remembering what I went through and being involved in that situation, and then seeing how different the atmosphere here is it's overwhelming, honestly. So that's where I'm coming from. What brings you here?
Praise is the presence of God. You know, worship is when we worship, He inhabits the praises of His people.
Is that a scripture you're quoting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so the atmosphere then, as we praise God, He enters the atmosphere. And His nature is love and peace.
All right.
And so, you know, especially after you experience stuff like what has happened, trauma for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so, just a way to come and bring the peace of God and to join together with the message of hope.
Yeah, I'm not a Christian. I believe in God very much. I'm quite there on some of the hang-ups, you know, but I can't tell you how visceral, essentially I can feel this, you know, after what I experienced here and seeing this peaceful presence here. It's like this land has been taken over by a different force right now. So that's it's interesting to see. I'm glad to see the peace. I'm tired of all the riots. I'm tired of all the people getting hurt. So, all right, Mark. Thank you for talking.
Yeah, God bless you, bro.
You too. You have a good night. Hi, sir. How you doing? I'm live streaming. I'm looking for someone local to the area to interview. Are you from this area?
I'm from the north end of Seattle, yeah.
Did you ever get to see, is it okay if I interview you on my live stream?
That's fine.
Okay. What can I call you? You can give a fake name or a real name, whatever you're comfortable with.
Clint.
Clint, nice to meet you. Did you get to see CHOP firsthand?
I didn't.
Did you see it online or on TV or anything?
I didn't.
Didn't?
Down here during town.
All right. Well, I guess we'll switch gears then. I was here and saw some pretty bad things here, and this is the first time back, so it's kind of weird seeing how different it is.
Yep.
What brings you out tonight?
My mom had mentioned that this was happening, and so I just got back into town, so I hopped on the bus to come down. Because
Are you a Christian believer?
I am.
You are? All right, cool. And so you're just coming out to check out the vibe and be part of the group?
Just coming out to be a part of what God is doing and to sing His praises, because what people are looking for is justice and peace and truth, and that's what Jesus does.
Okay.
So,
can I ask you some complicated questions?
sure.
Do you believe that Jesus Christ literally rose from the dead?
I do.
Why do you believe that?
Because it's in the Bible, and because it's the most logical explanation for the birth of the Christian religion.
You think it's just, from your point of view, it just seems obvious and logical?
Maybe not obvious, but if you look into it, there's a number of beliefs from Christianity that aren't from anything else.
Yeah.
And the explosiveness of the beginning of the Christian faith doesn't make any sense outside of God doing something supernatural to start it.
Okay, so one of the reasons why it's it seems evident to you is because the rate of spread and how it transferred through the whole world. Yeah. All right, that's interesting. And I'm not trying to get you to give me the right answer. You know, I find a lot of times when I ask people questions about like deep things like this that affect their whole personal identity and well-being and sense of worth, they just try to sound like they've got it all in a row, you know. But I'm really interested in like just people raised in this and always a Christian, or is there something that happened in your life that made you come to this?
I was raised a Christian, but I've also just always living through it. There have been a lot of experiences throughout my life where it's like, even if I didn't notice at the time, looking back on like the very obvious handprints of what God was doing, really hard.
But can you tell me one of those situations? Can you remember one?
I don't want to kill myself anymore, which is pretty big on my.
Were you suicidal for a little while?
I did try twice.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry. I've got a lot of compassion for people that have gone through that. I've been there a few times. I've never tried it, but I've had some struggles with depression myself. So, what was it like? I know there's just the answer that would seem obvious, like, oh, I found Jesus and everything's better. But how would you describe what happened to where you were in a pit of despair, and then you were trying to kill yourself successfully a couple times, and then you say that the Christian belief system transformed you? What happened?
Well, okay, to be clear, I was a Christian since I was like 5 or 6.
Okay.
These happened after I was a Christian.
All right.
But it's a progression.
Okay.
The relationship that you have with Jesus isn't just like, I've decided to be a Christian, and now I have a perfect, deep, 100% mature relationship with Jesus.
All right.
But then I went through some things that just had me doubting my worth around the end of high school and moving into adulthood, and I just was like, okay, I don't see that I'm good at anything or for anything, and so I'm just going to go ahead and try to end my life, and that didn't work, so I'm like, well, apparently that's not an option, but I also don't have to live my life because no one's going to force me to do that, and so I kind of abstained for several years, just phoning it in, and then just through opportunities, because God doesn't give up on anybody, and kept having opportunities to choose the right thing. And right now, where I am is, I used to be in Redmond, and I would have never moved into Seattle. I would have told people.
Yeah?
But a friend just needed someone to be around, and so I went ahead and I was like, okay, I feel like this is what I was trying to get to do. And after doing that, I ended up changing my job unexpectedly because commuting over. And through those things, God brought me into a place where my job is something that I like to go to every day and to feel worth. And just the things that He's showing me are about who I am, are things I didn't know. The things that someone couldn't tell me, that they had to be shown to me by the person who actually did know my identity.
So just kind of a journey to salvation and restoration, it sounds like. As over time, things just got better and better for you. It's good to hear, man. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the crowd watching?
Not really. I'm not a big fan of talking to crowds.
Well, you did well with me, so thank you much. You have a good day, Clint.
You too.
Thanks for talking to me. I'm going to do a little catch-up. Some people are asking what's going on in the chat. I am up in Cal Anderson Park. That was formerly CHOP or Chaz here in Seattle, just as a month ago. The last time I was here was when the 2 young black boys got shot up in the white Jeep. I held the 14-year-old boy in my lap and transported him in the backseat of a car to the hospital here. I was trying to think of the name. I can't remember the name of the hospital. But so this is my first time back here since the morning after that shooting. It was, I gotta say, it was pretty intense driving into the neighborhood and then walking into CHOP area. They don't call it CHOP anymore, but walking into the same area that just a month ago was chaos and violence and death and sexual assault and just degeneracy of the human nature. I'm not saying degeneracy in the sense that I'm judging people, but degeneracy in the sense that the fabric of the society here was just degenerating and falling apart. So it's kind of overwhelming for me to see something so peaceful. While I don't agree with everything, I'm not this isn't my game here, you know. But I am in line with God. I like the philosophy in Christianity, but it is amazing seeing so many people here to express their love for God and to have a peaceful press here, when just a month ago it was completely the opposite of this. So it's overwhelming. So for those of you watching, this is formerly Chop or Chaz up in Seattle. This is described as a Christian church revival. They originally started, as I understand, on the beaches of California in response to the lockdowns and the forbidding of churches gathering. Last night they were on the waterfront in Portland, Oregon. Tonight they are here, and I am with them in Chop, Chaz, Cal Anderson Park in Seattle, Washington. So I am definitely with them, standing up for their First Amendment rights to congregate and assemble. I think the draconian laws keeping people from gathering in their churches are 100% against the fabric of our founding of our country, against our Constitution. The First Amendment gives us the right of press and assembly. So I'm glad these people are standing up. I honestly don't understand why the Christians in America aren't standing up against this tomfoolery even more. Who would have ever thought, even a year ago, that the government would tell churches they couldn't gather? That's insane. I got a super chat here from Ruby Red. A member of my group is interested in interviewing you. We want to show you some support since you get treated unfairly way too often. All right, Ruby Red, thanks for the 10 spot. What is your group that you're, sorry. Ruby Red, what is your group that you're a part of that wants to interview me? Miari says, unfortunately, many churches are lukewarm. Sean Americana said that there are over 5,000 religions, and Christianity is just one of the newest ones. I think that is I don't want to be rude or disrespectful to you, but I'm just going to be frank. That's a very oversimplistic description of religion and Christianity. Christianity is one of the 5 main religions of the world. To throw that into groups that have a couple hundred followings in one time period is illogical and irrational to me. Christianity has lasted and survived 2,000 years so far, and the tradition of Judaism that's at its root is a couple thousand years older than that. The Bible and the Christian scriptures that are gathered together have lasted longer than nations, longer than organizations, longer than buildings, longer than mountains in some senses. I think that's a pretty simplistic way to look at things, and I don't think you're going to find any useful wisdom looking at the world through that. So Ruby Red sent another 2 spot. She says, happening centers in my group. Okay, I think I've seen some messages. And again, if I don't respond to you guys' messages quickly or to all of them, I am overwhelmed with correspondence from people. I do try to get to as many as I can, but I do remember seeing happening. So I'll look in that again. Yeah, someone says that if I believe that I should, or I don't know if he's talking to me or just the chat, but if I believe I should ask. And I'm not saying I believe that I had evidence that it didn't happen. I'm just saying I haven't found a reason to believe that it did happen. So I think it's dangerous to people to pray to a deity to tell them if that deity is true or not, because there's many religions all over the world that do that. The Mormons tell followers to pray for the burning in the bosom. The Christians often, certain sects of Christianity ask to pray for the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, or the touching of the Spirit. I believe the Muslims have a similar feeling that they pray for. and that can be described as a transcendent experience, and that happens in many different religions. So I don't think it's psychologically safe to pray to something to tell you if it's true or not. I think your brain can do weird things, and you see people all over the world praying to different things, and they feel that they are confirmed and what they prayed to was true. So that's not something I think is safe. Chad is asking me if I'm Jewish. No, I'm not Jewish. I'm not any religion. I would probably, if I had to describe myself as something, I'd describe myself as Christianity, but I'm not a Christian because as a Christian, but I'm not a Christian because I don't believe in the resurrection, at least yet. I haven't found a reason to believe it, you know. And so I'm not going to lie and say that I'm a Christian, you know. You can't lie yourself into heaven. All right, I'm gonna step away from this for a second and walk over in this direction and see if there's anything going on in the deeper part of CHOP. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Villain, Rockman, I emailed you a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
If you were in town, I would watch your back for you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, it's good to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Is.
I didn't know what to. I saw you walking up with the phone and the baklava, and I was like, oh, what's this?
Oh, yeah,
you know?
no, I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
I was just over there at the...
Are you cool to be on live stream?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shout out to Happening Center and the Watch Frogs.
They were just talking to me, Happening Center.
Yeah,
So
I'm here
are you part of them?
Absolutely.
All right, they were just reaching out to me. They sent me a 5 and a 2 super chat saying they wanted to interview me.
Awesome.
And I have seen their messages. And if I didn't respond to you, I was just talking about this. I'm so overwhelmed with correspondence, and I haven't decided how to organize that and to get a streamline going on there. You know,
You have one more than me.
Yeah, right on, man. Well, cool, man.
I was over at the City Hall when they had the demonstration for the pro-blue stuff.
Today?
There's a huge amount of support.
Yeah, I had a buddy here from Conservative, Common Sense Conservative. He was recording that today, and I saw a couple of videos. It was a big turnout, huh?
Absolutely. And,
I'm sorry I interrupted you. Tell me what you were seeing there.
And that street preacher that's going back and forth from Portland.
Brother Matthew?
Yeah, he was attacked again in front of the... I got it all on film. I'm Rockman Riding. Hello,
Rockman.
You probably see me in your chat box there once in a while. I lurk all the time. I introduced myself to one of the members of the Antifista, whatever they call themselves. Got a number, and I got a little bit of I need to remember the name of the exact app that they're using. They're using a specific app that's encrypted.
Signal? Signal?
Signal, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I'm supposed to get on that.
So you're talking to an Antifa person?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm following the rules, making sure that I'm optical and stuff like that. I can trust you guys. I'm against them. They're a bunch of fucking assholes. And they killed more black people than the police had last year or the year before. So, fuck them all. Fuck the police, too.
Well, you down to walk through the former CHOP with me?
Absolutely,
Let's take a tour.
Let's go.
So, I was just telling, this is the first day I've been back up here since the morning after that shooting. So it was like kind of visceral for me just walking into the area. And seeing like hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of people over there having a peaceful thing and expressing their worship for God is, it's just such a contrast from what I last saw here. It's very emotionally overwhelming for me.
Do you know which church put this together?
I don't know the name of it, but they were down in Portland, Oregon last night at the waterfront, and they started down, as far as I understand, in California on the beaches in response to the ban on church gatherings. So they started defying. They weren't. I guess they weren't really supposed to do it, but they were having church gatherings on the beach.
Well, I have a friend who's definitely all for protesting against the closing of churches. Shout out to Erin Moffat and her channel. Also, look at the 7K medals / Rockman Riding. We have silver. Silver's going up. It's only going to keep going up.
Right on. Let's walk through the garden here. So it looks like
it actually took care of the garden pretty good.
Right on.
Independently from the Antifa BLM.
Interesting.
So they made sure to keep everything nice and everything.
Hello. So this is the former garden, the CHOP garden. Almost all the tents are gone. There used to be a little tent village here, mostly over on that side.
Well, I should give you a heads up. Their calendar said that around 7 p.m. they were supposed to meet up back at the park, but I think this church gathering kind of threw a wrench in that plan.
Well, I'm starting to see more and more of them showing up. So there is still some tents, if that's what you want to call that there.
I can send you their calendar anytime.
That'd be cool, man.
Yeah, we saw Jason dance at the...
So here is, okay, so you're in the area here?
Oh yeah, I live
So
pretty close.
this is a different name, right? This is Kyle Anderson Park back here, and this is the something ball fielder.
Oh, you know, to be completely honest with you, I moved to Seattle about a year ago.
Okay.
So, I literally just moved in the area like 4 months ago. So, as far as like specific names go, I don't even know my directions yet.
Yeah. So we're walking deeper into what used to be Chop here.
Oh yeah, back when the shopping was going on, this street over here had like a whole bunch of traffic, and I was really concerned about the people that lived in these buildings up here.
Yeah. Even more so, the buildings over. What'd you say?
Yo, what kind of pizza is that, guys?
Even more, the buildings over here were troubled sometimes.
I have this like strategy of you know, just engaging randomly and just going with the
Yeah,
flow.
kind of what I do a little bit. Somebody in the chat's talking about me getting a gimbal. I had a gimbal last night, if you guys saw me in Seaside, and that kind of busted its motors out slowly. So I'll be getting another one. I got to go online and get one because none of the stores have them right now. But so this is the ball field. This is one of the places that the white Jeep was driving around in circles here.
Oh, if anyone knows who Quarterback Garrett is, one of the co-hosts of the Steven Crowder Show, he came around here like a few weeks ago, back when Chaz and Chop was still a thing.
Yeah.
And I was there to watch his back up until he like vanished. And apparently he vanished around the same time he was taking a picture of tagging up Raz's wall.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if he caught that little tidbit, but yeah.
I remember that. Oh, when he was in Raz's Airbnb.
Yeah, and then yeah, we found the address and everything.
Crazy.
I was even more crazy that I almost stumbled into Raz's apartment myself without even knowing, you know, anything about it.
Yeah. Do you know that? I don't know how much of the stuff you followed of mine, but when I was there that night, I transported the 14-year-old boy.
Oh yeah, Pocket.
Yeah, and I did not even know until the news reporters started trying to get interviews from us. Raz was the one driving that car.
Really?
Yeah. So I met him that morning.
Earlier that evening, during the march on Janie Durkin's mansion, I was actually there with Socialist Alternative.
Yeah.
And you know, I was there as a protester.
Hold on just a second. So this is this is East Pine and 10th Avenue, and it's the burrito Mexican restaurant. This is kind of one of the corners of Chop. This is one of the places where one of the little bouts of gunfire happened with the white Jeep, or at the white Jeep. It looks like the white Jeep was probably not armed, but this is kind of the west end of Chop here. So we'll keep walking in. So you were part of the protest?
And to an extent, I was just doing some recon. I saw them kick out like a
Seattle
mother-daughter
police
combo.
in Chop, and never saw that before. I've never been in this area before, but that's the first time I've ever seen the police in Chop. I wasn't here for the battle before they took over the precinct.
Oh yeah, the police have been a pretty consistent presence. Like, not too overbearing, but at least letting the locals know that they're around.
Yeah. I'm sure the locals are in favor of that, because a lot of them were getting pretty upset and not feeling safe in their apartments and that sort of thing.
It was the day before yesterday where they were marching to the Uncle Ike's locations, and along those routes they were shining lasers into people's homes.
Oh wow, the green lasers?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I saw them like, and there are people poking out their heads out the window and stuff. Apparently, gentrification, it was a talking point, is the talking point for that. And by their definitions, gentrification means either white people moving into a neighborhood or white people moving out of a neighborhood. Either way, it's all bad. It's all, you know, evil, sin, must be punished.
Like anything white people do is gentrification?
Yes.
Like if you eat a cracker or like have a bowl of soup, it's somehow racist?
A white person eating a cracker is a double negative.
So this is one of the main areas that happen in Chop. Right here used to be a lot of open mics here in the middle of the intersection. Over there in that intersection was where the they're sending out a heart. So sending me some love. I'm not sure who that is, but they're being pretty kind. So this crosswalk right over here was where the main grocery commissary was. That is also where that man pulled up in the car one day and it was being attacked by a crowd or a few people, and he got out and pulled his gun, and then he walked up through the large crowd of protesters that was right here and up towards the police line. And then we'll go up farther and keep showing you some stuff. This hot dog stand has been here pretty consistently all through Chop.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Every time I walk by, I never have any cash on me. Oh wait, you have a tablet. Oh, I got no excuse now, do I? I'll be right with you guys.
You gonna get a hot dog?
I'm thinking about it.
All right. So, if you guys saw my Twitter videos from that night, up there about where that RV is where I was running across the street to the church while the man was crouching and running behind the cars with his rifle. And then the medic rig came up and turned out it was just another white Jeep-looking vehicle and not the Jeep everybody was trying to look for.
Oh, that night with pockets and everything, did you happen to catch like the lower right part of the bumper of that truck at all? And if you did it say anything on it?
Which truck?
The truck that the kids were trying to escape with, like the white truck.
The Jeep?
Yeah.
Yeah, on my video, it's got I did a 360 walkthrough on the end of it. It's up on YouTube.
All right, good. Because I mean, the image I saw could have been Photoshopped, but it said something. It said Gerber on it, and that basically means like furries. So. I also noticed that a lot of members of the John Brown Gun Club are furries as well.
Are they?
Yes.
So I know that Jeep was owned by some pet company or a mask company. So the logo that they have on the back of the Jeep is the people that own that Jeep and had their Jeep robbed was the owners of that company.
Yes.
So.
And it's basically a furry mask type of company. You can look on Facebook, Gerber, 3 R's.
Yeah. Thanks, Pink Floyd Hippie Chick with the $1.99. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and when they had the Socialist Alternative gathering in front of the Seattle College over there, there's an incident at the Dick's where like a security guard tackled another individual.
At the Dick's?
Yes.
And you gotta explain that.
Well, I didn't see what happened. I was walking up and I already saw like 2 people on the floor. One man pitting another man, African American, both of them. And then John Brown Gun Club were like basically there as well, and they had the furry tails. Like,
yeah, I saw a bunch of furries walking around in Chop. That was weird.
Yeah, they had a strong presence in Chop, and I think they have a strong presence in Portland too.
Huh. So, me and a couple friends have been noting that there's you see arrest release and people will show you pictures of their like social media, and there's a lot of alternative sexual practices among the protesters. Yeah, they had a couple up there and they were yelling "Hail Satan" up there.
I saw that.
Yeah, but yeah, there seems to be a higher than normal representation of extreme alternative sexual practices amongst the rioters. I noticed that a lot of the streamers down in Portland, there's what I think is a higher than average ratio of transgender streamers. I'm not trying to get into all that, but I have noticed a lot of furries, a lot of like BDSM, a lot of transgender kind of people.
Sex workers.
Yeah, sex workers. So it's kind of an interesting correlation. Are you gonna get a hot dog?
No, actually.
Yeah? I got some cash on you, man.
I was just people watching.
You're just people watching?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Or simply clean. Why go to the mall?
Every time I think of getting off like that, I remember that most of the time I walk by it was here and
yeah. Let's cross over here and look at the Forbidden Alley.
Oh yeah, they cleaned this up pretty well.
Yeah?
They did clean it up.
So, man, it's crazy being here again, you guys. It's just so different. All the concrete barriers are gone. All the murderers are gone. All the well, they're at least hiding. All the people that are strung out on drugs they're not doing it as openly. So this is the Forbidden Alley. Let's walk down there. I never got to go back down here because it was so guarded so heavily. A lot of the spray paint has been cleaned up.
When I walked by, I noticed that the building has cameras out here, and I'm like, oh, I don't want them to think I'm like one of the anarchists trying to get down the wall or anything. So
Yes.
the person with me, I feel better.
Yeah.
Down here.
So one of the theories on why the Forbidden Alley was so guarded was that maybe one of these parking garages had an entrance to the police precinct down here. The official story was that there are apartments down here and people didn't want them looking in their windows, but that didn't seem too legit because it was definitely a strange, I don't know, some strange attention got to this alley, and it was very sacred and forbidden That's a big TV out here. Must not be working, I assume. This is my first time coming down here in the Forbidden Alley. What'd you say? I didn't realize those were forbidden. Yeah, the CHOP security people guarded it pretty well. There was always a barricade up there at the front, and then if anybody walked into the alley pretty quick, like people would be on the radio swooping into the area telling people to leave. So there you have it, folks, the Forbidden Alley, Forbidden CHOP Alley. I kind of always wanted to come back here. The minute somebody tells me what to not do, I immediately want to do that.
So you got that out of your system?
Yeah, so I have now been in Forbidden Alley. What a rebel.
Black trans lives matter. Now, I've been noticing when I went over to Portland, when we went over to Portland, we saw like the artwork, like the graffiti and stuff. There's a lot of like, you know, satanic and pagan stuff there as well.
Yeah.
Like, certain phases repeating over and over again. I don't know specifically what they are, but I can just look back at my content and find out.
You know, I've never made that connection before. I've talked a lot about how the left does the repeated phrases over and over and over to cancel discourse, but I could see how like that would be the opposite of the idea of logos, the foundation of Western culture and Christianity. Logos and reason and logic and discussion and discourse and learning and connection. And I guess the opposite of that would be anything that stifles that kind of thing. So I could see how repeating chanted mantras would be the opposite of logos. So I could see how that would align with the ideas.
I try to be careful with the logo stuff because, well, it is scriptural, but at the same time it isn't. There's two words, Greek words for words.
Are you a Christian?
I'm a Lutheran.
So you're a Lutheran?
Full-on Martin Lutheran.
So this is the East Precinct here. This is crazy seeing it as looking as official it is right now. It was, last I saw, it was covered in a row of tents. It's all spray painted up. Most of all this was covered up by things. So I got another super chat here. Carly W, $24.99. Thank you so much, Carly. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. So they do have the main entrance here. This corner entrance is all boarded up still, newly boarded up. And they have these third world style concrete barrier, Jersey barriers with steel fences on top of it.
When they came back towards the precinct,
yeah,
they established like a lot of the fence out there basically were moved over here.
Uh-huh.
And I was able to talk to some of the people here. Just one artist.
Yeah.
I talked to him. Actually, you know, I just walked up, I dropped like a 5 in the fucking jar. I was like, oh, here you go, guys.
Yeah.
I was trying to remain optimal. I'm trying to be friendly with everyone because I really am everyone's friend. But, you know, you try to infringe on my rights, then we're going to have a problem. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And early today, I couldn't record on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Because they did the umbrella thing, you know?
Yeah, I saw them attacking a couple people in a video today. Hey, officers, thank you for service. Sorry you're going through everything you have to go through recently.
Yeah, they need all the support, all like the expression.
Yeah, they need some love. You know, it's like admirable that they have not quit their jobs yet. You know,
They have like a sense of discipline that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
You know, I guess a lot of them are vets, maybe, or maybe they just have like decent training. You know, because they have like their composure doesn't really break very often.
Sean Americana says the religion is the opiate of the masses. That's a quote from Karl Marx, and Karl Marx's theories end in genocide and starvation. It's also a pretty simple way to look at life. I think John Denver said you got to serve somebody. You might as well be or got to serve somebody, either Jesus or the devil. I'm paraphrasing horribly, but it's true, man. Pretty much human nature is to give yourself into something. If you don't give yourself to something good, you're going to probably fall into something bad. So here's the one of the boundaries of CHOP. This is 12th and Pike. And so there used to be, when the first day I came in here, there was a barricade here, and it was guarded somewhat heavily. They weren't frisking people. They didn't have a big open carry presence, but there was a little bit, you know. So it's interesting.
I blame the Jesuits as far as like religion goes.
The Jesuits?
Yeah, 1500. I think the Catholic Church was able to invite like individuals that weren't Catholic into their fatherhood or whatever.
Yeah, I hear a lot of different. I haven't looked into the Jesuits too much, but I hear a lot of different things. I hear like they're the true remnant of the church, and then I hear other people saying things like you, like the Jesuits ruined the Catholic Church. But you have a different perspective on Christian stuff or Catholic stuff, right? Because you're a Lutheran, so Martin Luther rebelled against the Catholic Church and started the Protestant Reformation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go as far as to say that like the real problem is like a tribe of individuals that go around taking control of entire bloodlines. Like we see this happen in Esther and a few other books and stuff like that, where entire kingdoms are basically just taken over because they're married in through the matriarchy. And a lot of people like to blame the Jews because a lot of them have like a Semitic kind of thing going on. But again, entire bloodlines stolen. And it happens over and over and over again. Happened in Rome, happened in Greece, happened in pretty much every society that sees the symptoms we're seeing right now. Weimar, Let
me ask you, you sound like not just a light Lutheran. You sound like someone that's actually looked into your beliefs in Lutheranism. What do you think about the claims that Martin Luther was anti-Semitic? And just to be clear for the chat, we are talking about Martin Luther from the 1500s, the great reformer of the Christian faith. We are not talking about Martin Luther King Jr., the civil rights activist in America in the 1960s. So what are your thoughts on those claims?
To that, I would say, every time anyone is like smeared a certain way, look at who's the one doing the smearing. At the time, it was the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Doing that. So I would say, however much you decide to trust the Catholic Church as far as you want to go with how bad of a person Martin Luther was.
Yeah. What are your opinions on supposedly he spread pamphlets that encouraged Christians to attack Jews when they encounter them in the streets?
I don't know too much about that. As far as like calling to action goes, maybe I need to look into that some more. But as far as I'm concerned, like his main real claim to fame was criticizing the Catholic Church and basically writing about the, Jewish infiltration of the Catholic Church.
Huh. Jewish infiltration, huh?
Yeah, well, that's what the Jesuit thing was, but it's really, really complicated. I need to get my years correct. I need to basically get my homework together. Yeah. Honestly, because it's a very complicated thing talking about stolen bloodlines.
All right. So this is one of the probably, if not the main intersection of what Chats and Chop was. This is 12th and Pine. So right here at the southwest corner is the Seattle precinct. And so that was kind of the hub of all of CHOP here, and where the initial takeover of the police department happened and the abandonment of the building by the police. Right here across the street, there used to be a smaller grocery store, and behind that was like a toiletry and medical supply tent that gave things out. Up at the end of the street here was a barricade at that intersection where that car is stopping up there, and that was the edge of CHOP there. We had a lot of events. There was a stage set up here often on that right in front of the police precinct, and with different events going on, concerts, speeches. One day I saw a group of Native Americans setting up teepees and doing tribal dances. Got to see that one day. That was pretty interesting. So, what'd you say?
I need to watch out with what I say on the YouTube.
Okay.
They had they can't call themselves what they used to call them, like the transgender. We had like a transgendered individual dance off in front of the Uncle Ike's the day before yesterday. Huh. And that was kind of interesting time. And that was when they were walking through. It was Union and basically where Uncle Ike's is. And they started off at like the initial location where like the windows got busted in a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And then they walked and visited like the other Uncle Ike's location and held their demonstrations there. Huh.
So up here at the middle, not right where that black car is right now, in the middle of from the intersection I'm standing in to the next intersection was another barricade, and that's kind of where CHOP ended on that street.
As far as the Seattle demonstrators are concerned, their main thing is remaining optical and quote-unquote peaceful. So they're visibly calling out violence within their own group, but they're making a show of it. I mean, it was the violence was consistent with what they were doing the entire time. Except now they're trying to make it, so anyone that's caught on film acting out is disavowed. Like, oh, you're not allowed to agitate, go, de-escalate, yada, yada, yada. And they're basically struggling with the optics thing.
Are they still in favor of attacking businesses and looting businesses, or are they calling that out as well?
Uncle Ike's, that demonstration of Uncle Ike's was extortion. Like, they're, I'll send you a link to the event, but they're trying to claim 30% of that business owner's profits to redistribute into the black communities.
Oh, crazy.
Other things, you know? And since it's a dispensary, it's not really federally protected.
Yeah.
Like normal businesses would be.
Uh-huh.
So there's a bit of like wiggle room. Like the locals probably won't do anything. They have extra security and stuff like that. So it's, you know, a lot of nuance. And the thing is, the demonstrators here.
So I see Lipstick says there's park trouble. So someone's saying there's trouble in the park.
Oh, okay. I just want to say that the demonstrators here don't seem to know that they're basically getting everything they want, but they still want to act like they're getting oppressed.
So one thing that is very annoying I'm learning about YouTube is that when I walk somewhere and there's a clip of music playing in the background right there, the music industry will claim copyright and then demonetize my video just because I walked by a song playing in public, which seems to be an overreach of the music industrial complex. They're contradicting the freedom of the press, the freedom of speech, and the fair use laws. But that's been frustrating me lately.
Yeah, it's an effective way to shut people up.
Yeah.
I like how Memology likes to overlay his videos with like 80s music. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
You should check him out. He has like a lot of
Memology?
Yep.
All right.
Little minute and a half long videos of just events going on.
So can you tell me a little bit about Happening Center?
Oh, that. So yeah, it started off as command and control on DLive, and it was basically just like a group of anons decided to get together and just people watch, you know. And I gotta be careful with everything that I say, but we basically been cataloging individuals going back and forth from Portland and stuff like that, just dropping little tip-offs here and there, calling the districts before they get mobbed and stuff like that. I myself tipped off Uncle Ike's before the demonstration happened, but apparently someone else already did that.
Yeah.
It's just a group of anons, group of concerned citizens that are really good at information gathering.
So you're saying Anon? Like is that QAnon?
Oh, that. We have a little bit more credibility than QAnon. We actually have some arrests under our belt. So.
Oh yeah, what's Anon mean? I thought Anon was just a name for the followers that believe the Q thing.
Oh, anonymous. Anon, just a bunch
of
anonymous. People on the
Is that what Anon means with Q? Q, anonymous Qs?
The QAnon is just he's an anon who identifies as Q.
Oh, okay.
But there are a lot of anons out there. In fact, we consider you an anon. So just people who are anonymous online.
Okay, all right. I never knew that that's what that stood for.
Yeah, you fit the qualifications.
Yeah, I'm definitely an anonymous person. Here's a little hangout spot, some hammocks. It's like
very cool. I don't know where they got that pizza from, but it's just a opening for conversation. I'll start talking and everything. I think someone was pretty upset that they think you were taking pictures behind us.
Yeah. It seemed more like he was trying to get me to take pictures of him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But
I don't respond to people yelling at me.
Yeah. There's one of the guys in the hammock area was doing some dance moves and looking like he trying to make himself look like he was hiding from me, trying to get me not to take a picture. I wasn't trying to get him on camera, but I think he was trying to get me to point my camera at him. Anyway. So those of you who don't know who I am, I'm gonna do my plug real quick. I'm VillainPhoenix. I've been documenting the riots for over 2 months now in Portland, Seattle area, Pacific Northwest. Recently, I have been to Eugene, Springfield, Seaside, and some other places. I have been attacked and jumped for my efforts in trying to document what's really going on in the riots. And right now, I am at an event in Seattle. This is the area that used to be CHOP or Chaz. Today, there's a Christian church revival going on up here. This is in response to the shutting down of people's rights to gather and assemble the religious organizations. They originally, as I understand it, met on the beaches of California. Last night, they were at the waterfront in Portland, Oregon. Tonight, they are at Cal Anderson Park, what used to be the CHOP Autonomous Zone. So if you want to find me and you don't know who I am, I'm VillainPhoenix. You're watching me on YouTube right now. On Twitter, I'm at villain_Phoenix. On Facebook, I'm the Villain Report. You can find all these links in the description of this video. And if you guys want to help me out in pursuing my journalistic endeavors as a citizen journalist, you can see my links to donation sites in the description. I have a Cash App, it's $VillainPhoenix. Venmo is villain_Phoenix, at villain_Phoenix. I have PayPal as my email, thevillainreport@gmail.com for PayPal, thevillainreport for gmail.com for PayPal. I also have a GoFundMe that is attached to the pinned tweet on my Twitter. All those links are in the description. Cash App is one of the easiest for me to use. Cash App is $VillainPhoenix. So if you guys want to like, subscribe, follow, help out in any way you can. I've just been trying to show what's really happening in Pacific as far as these riots and unrest go. Today I'm at a Christian church revival, and it's pretty interesting to see how different the vibe is right now compared to 1 month ago when people were getting killed and hurt and just a general lawlessness here.
It doesn't seem like any of the people at the Back to Blue rally are here. It seems like an entirely different large gathering of people.
Yeah.
So it kind of pushes the silent majority even more.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to my own channel. I'm Rockman Ryden, PayPal Rockman Ryden, Cash App Rockman Ryden. I'm trying to do the same thing Villain's doing. I'm trying to be a citizen journalist. I want this to be a full-time thing, and I'm not afraid to go out there and talk to people.
Right on. Rockman is here. He's reached out to me before. This is the first time I got to meet up with him. He ran up to me while I was streaming and let me know who he was from contacting me on social media. And he's just here to give me some backing and to keep an eye out for me while I'm doing this stuff. I appreciate that a lot. And I do have a super chat here from Red, White, and Blue again. It just keep hitting me with these donations. Thank you so much. And they say, take strength to go back. Thank you so much. Appreciate seeing this. Stay vigilant. Thank you so much, Red, White, and Blue. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. They hit me up with a $49.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Here you go. I'm about to say hi to your chat right now.
All right. So Rockman is going to say hey to the chat. He's the one standing beside me, just keeping a lookout for me. So someone said trouble was in the park. Are they just talking about that little group of cardboard protesters over there?
We'll see you soon.
It's pretty safe here, you guys. There's hundreds and hundreds of people here for the peace part, and only a couple people here with their signs. So I don't see any black bloc types. I don't see anybody trying to instigate violence. So it looks like this is the end of it. I would like to try to interview a couple more people. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm live streaming. I'm looking for people that are local to the area to interview. Okay, all right. Hey, how you guys doing? I'm live streaming. I'm looking for people that are local to the area to interview. No? I am all masked up. Hey guys, I'm live streaming. I'm looking for people local to the area to interview. I was here, last time I was here, I transported one of the boys that got shot in the backseat of a car and helped him get to the hospital. This is the first time I've come back, so it's like totally different than the last time I saw here. Are you guys from the area at all?
We're from down south.
Down south? Did you ever see what was going on when it was shot?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, we
Yeah.
saw the news.
Yeah, I go by VillainPhoenix online. I've got the mask. I've been attacked for recording the violence and the riots. I've been documenting for 2 months. Like I just said, I was here last on the night when the white Jeep got shot up. The 2 young black boys got shot. I held one of them in my lap on the way to the hospital and transported them there.
Are you a first responder?
I have some medical training, so I try not to give all my information and stuff out for privacy reasons. I can understand I have been jumped and attacked by the rioters, so yeah. But what brought you guys out to this tonight?
We just wanted to be a part of worshiping.
Let me get a little closer. My mic's horrible.
We wanted to be a part of worshiping and just seeing God do something in the city to heal it.
All right. You guys Christian believers? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm not. I believe in God. I'm not quite there at the resurrection kind of thing. So, but I believe. Yeah. Right on. Yeah. So you came out here just to be part of the worship, and it sounds like you're enjoying seeing something positive happen in the city.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The love of Christ really is what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Right on.
That's what's going to heal all these issues we have.
What do you think?
Antifa types.
Antifa types. So we got some protester types gonna start to cause problems. So anyways, thank you so much for saying what you said. Guys, stay safe. Have a good night. Thank you. So the Antifa types over there, I don't know if those are Antifa types. Protester types are very concerned about people wearing a mask, but not concerned about the violence, murders that are happening at the riots and whatnot. So there's starting to be. Yeah. So let's go up here a little bit here. Are you familiar with Black Conservative Preacher here?
Not really.
Green orange shirt.
No.
He's a streamer I'm affiliated with. He's a Christian guy. He does street preaching, and he's also been documenting the riots and doing that kind of thing as well.
Well, I think I'd like to correct what he's saying when he says Jesus was black. It's Jesus is black. He's still alive. So.
Hi.
How's it going, guys? What's up? How much ministry do you up here? I say I have a quotation mark. I don't want to butcher any narratives.
Yeah. I don't know what color he was. I don't think it really matters.
I mean, it would stand to reason he was Middle Eastern if it was in the Middle East, wouldn't it? I mean, that's just what I thought.
I know. I've looked into it before, and there's a lot of people that argue different things, and I get to where it's like you have to learn so much to figure it out, and then like, what really profit do you have finding what color he was,
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
Hey, how you doing? I'm a live streamer. I'm trying to find people local to the area. Are you local to this area? Everett? Or did you get to see Chop or Chaz here before it was shut down?
Yeah, I actually got attacked.
So you did. Well, I am an online presence. I've been documenting the riots since they started in the Pacific Northwest. I go by VillainPhoenix online. I was here the night of the white Jeep shooting. I actually held the 14-year-old boy pocket in my lap in the backseat of the car and transported him to the hospital. This is my first day after the following morning, and so it's kind of viscerally emotional for me to see such a change in presence here. Where I've put my story out online. I've got quite a lot of followers now. I've been attacked by Antifa and robbed and mugged and harassed. But anyways, I've been trying to show the truth of what's been happening in these unrest events and the riots and the protests and the quotation peaceful protests. So what is your perspective on what was going on here from your point of view compared to today? What can we call you?
My name's Paul.
Paul? Yeah. All right, nice to meet you, Paul.
So I just came down here to try and help out and preach to people and let them know Jesus loves them.
Okay.
Kind of my thing. The first night I was down here, there were a lot of people who were very angry about police presence. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff wrong in society. The only resolution to that, in my understanding, is to get a look at the Lord and understand what He's about.
Right.
We're not going to save each other down here. And this whole, I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on with the government that's wrong, corrupt. They're the ones really controlling this stuff and really doing the behind the scenes stuff. They're getting us all angsty and upset about each other rather than dealing with the actual problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. It's nuts. All these people here, they hurt. And I just want to find a way to help everybody understand their love. And the government doesn't love them and stop trusting the government a little bit more. But
yeah, it's ironic that I don't want to categorize everybody, but there's a tendency for people that are attacking the federal courthouses and the police and the feds right now are also the same ideologies that want a bigger government. And I'm categorizing things generally, you guys. I'm not trying to say that everybody is the same in the group, but in general, the leftist point of view is the ones attacking and rioting right now, and they are also the ones that want a large government control of everything and communism. So
that's because it's been used by the local government, basically by local. I'm not sure if it's communist supporters or if it's actually people in our own government, but there are people seeding these people, going out into the groups and basically telling them what they need them to do or what they think they should do in order to get these results, which is the exact opposite of what they want.
Yeah.
All it leads to is bigger governmental control, more of an Illuminati-type presence, and basically 1%ers getting bigger and more distance.
Okay.
If this pandemic is fake, like I believe it is, I believe it's nearly medically as bad as they're saying it is. If it is as fake as it is, why does 99% of the people need to be put away in 1% of the group, in 1% of the population, 1% basically? Why do they need to take 99% of the population to put us into apartments, and 1% gets the entire rest of the land? Why do they need that much land? Like, that's a big thing for me. Like, why are they trying to get us all cooped up so they can have 99% of the land? What does that get them?
So are you are you suggesting that the governments or the U.S. government is pushing people to live in condensed, more and more condensed areas?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can see that today. I mean, look at this. This wasn't here 2 years ago. None of this was.
So you don't think this is a natural, organic
no, I don't think so.
living possibilities? You do?
Yeah, and they've got us. I mean, I don't know if you've ever driven across the country, but this country's empty.
Yeah.
I was in the military for a while, and I had to drive across the country 4 or 5 times, and this country is empty.
Yeah.
We're stuffed into these little cities, and they want us in these cities, but I don't understand why. I don't understand why they want the rest of the land empty.
Let me ask you. You just talked about someone over there in that crowd a little earlier, and they're pretty mad over there that nobody's wearing masks, and I am also under the belief that COVID is largely I don't know what I would call it, maybe a false flag, not quite a false flag, but
they're definitely not telling us about this thing.
So it's a real virus, I believe, and people do get sick with it, but I don't think it's much different than the average flu in the year. Like the people that do get sick and die of it kind of are a little bit more visceral and visual, you know, but it's still a pretty small rate if you look at the statistics.
Yeah.
But that being said, you are not wearing a mask. What do you think about the masks?
Well, technically, putting my bloodstream, I had COVID about 4 to 5 weeks ago. I remember kind of feeling like I had the sniffles for a day or two, but that was it. That was really all I remembered. And went and got a test shortly thereafter, and then I've noticed.
Will Trout Lion says, "Be safe." Thank you so much, man. For $24.99.
Having them get tested, then get tested again after
Yeah.
they test positive, giving them $5 in a donut.
Huh.
So yeah, it's not a state order. People are so worked up about a bunch of information the government giving them. This isn't our country. This is a bunch of people being rallied up for no reason.
Yeah. And then one thing I also see here is this group is in response to some of the COVID laws. The churches are being shut down. So this group, as far as I understand it, started in California on the beaches. They were in Portland, Oregon last night, and they're here tonight, and they're meeting and somewhat in response to churches not being able to gather.
Shenanigans, we can't be out here to worship. That's basically the message.
Yeah.
I don't want to be, this area, yes, they are predominantly that type of people, Antifa people, Black Lives Matter people. So yeah, they're going to hold on to their grounds, if you will, and they don't want us here. We're the minority here.
Yeah.
So it's going to make a difference to them.
Yeah, it's seen as their turf, and this is their park, and we're the people here are treading on their territory. So
It's true.
Yeah. So what do you think? I didn't get to hear as much as I wanted to about your thoughts on churches being forbidden from gathering in certain places across the country.
I think it's completely illegal. It's so again, separation of church and state. People don't really understand what separation of church and state is. But not allowing church folks to gather is just as wrong as not allowing Antifa folks to gather. Just as wrong as not allowing liberals or conservatives or Russians. We have the right to a free assembly.
Right.
And until they prove this thing is as lethal as they say it is, which they haven't, I don't believe that they should be able to do that.
Yeah.
There's no reason that they should be able to inhibit anybody's ability to gather. I being a veteran, I did fight for those rights, and they are very near and dear to my heart. And that's the one thing that really upsets me about this is the fact that people don't realize their First, Second Amendments are securing right before their eyes.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's been getting crazy. Thank you, Teresa, for this, for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. It's insane seeing the crowds like this coming out to counter protest a peaceful event, and they're so focused on the masks, but they're not concerned about how these events have been so violent.
If you look at that, listen to these voices right there, does that sound like any counter protest, or does it sound like violence waiting to happen?
It does.
Like Marxist subversion to me. It does.
Yeah.
It sounds like a man that's ready to attack other people, unfortunately.
It sounds like
He's been worked up into such fury.
a lot of channeled rage.
Yeah.
There are kids out here that like to talk about the kids a lot when they use them as shields. But,
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, are you local to the area? Can I interview you here real quick?
Okay, man. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll catch up with you in a second. I didn't think you guys would walk off, so I was going to step off for a second, but
I actually need to run, but there's my card if you want to contact me.
Thank you. I will. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. You said you're somewhat local to the area?
Yeah.
Yeah, I go by VillainPhoenix online. I've been documenting the riots for over 2 months. I was up here in Chomp last time, the night of the Jeep shooting. This is my first time back. It's kind of weird seeing such a different presence. Well, it's starting to turn back into what I remember a little bit right now. But I saw your American flag hat, so I figured you might have some differing opinions on all this. So
Rhetoric, he's letting us be here. He's letting us do the demonstration. He's letting us.
The man on the bullhorn is letting us in his territory. So let me ask you: did you see Chomp live? We didn't hear to see that person.
No, man, I was away for that. All this is, I came from a different country where I've seen exact same thing happen, protests.
Russia or Ukraine?
Ukraine.
Ukraine, I hear that accent.
Yeah, man, that's where I'm from, and I moved here right after the whole Euro revolution.
Yeah.
And I've seen how it goes, and it's just, we got a problem, obviously, that's right. You know, Black Lives Matter is, it is like, there is a lot of racial issues here.
Yeah.
But
so you said you saw this stuff happening in the Ukraine area in the Euro revolution. And you saying that this is kind of similar to what you saw before?
A lot of people angry. There is a reason to be angry. People are angry. Just they put this all energy in the wrong thing. Always.
Yeah.
Distraction brings distraction. Hates bring hate. This is why I think this is so important to make more gatherings like this. Bring Jesus' name into the light. Sing to Him, praise to Him, and bring life. You know, they prayed, like everybody kneeled here and prayed for the minorities, for the Black Lives Matter. Obviously, there's an issue. There's a solution. God is solution. Jesus is solution. That's what all of this is about. Come here, praise Him, bring the community together for that. And whenever they're trying to do this right now, it's just hate is not an answer. That's all I can say to that.
Wow, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Thank you for giving your perspective. Are you on your way out of here? Or are you gonna stay here for a minute?
No, man. I stay here for I believe in, and I believe in praising God and believe in that. But whenever they try to bring some aid, they're obviously looking for a conflict right there. They will try to start a fight or some. I just don't want to be no part of that.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a peaceful protest, that's something reasonable, something that's I see point of it. I see this will work, and I believe in something. I'll be here for it.
Do you see there might be a point where a line is crossed and you start to show up to stand up against stuff?
I mean, I do show up. It's just the way of it.
Yeah.
If it proclaims hate, if it proclaims just violence, if it proclaims something I don't believe in, I won't.
All right.
Reasonable. But if it's a peaceful protest for Black Lives Matter, it doesn't matter what it's for. It's just as long as the reason is valuable, and as long as it's all peaceful and there's no violence. Just because violence is not an answer, just my opinion.
I'm in favor of that opinion, you know. I'm tired of seeing the violence. Can I ask you a question? So, in the Pacific Northwest, when I tend to meet a man like you with your accent, largely, more often than not, you guys tend to be Christian. And a lot of times it's like the Apostolic faith or the Russian Orthodox groups, Eastern Orthodox. What kind of church are you affiliated with?
I was born and raised in a Christian Baptist family.
Christian Baptist?
Yeah, but I don't think it's really massive in the nation. All of us praise the Lord.
So I guess my question is, I see a larger than average presence of Christians within the Ukrainian and Russian community in the Pacific Northwest than I do in other communities in the same area. Have you seen that?
Most definitely. I mean, it has to do with how most of the people came here. It goes back a little to the history of most of the people came here as refugees. Went here from the refugees back from USSR fall apart, and they used to kill Christians there.
Okay.
And they used to kill families and send them to Sibir and Gulag, everything. And that's why the first border broke through. America gave us refuge where we can proclaim our religion and be scared of taking our lives away for it.
So can I, to clarify, it was Christians fleeing a regime in that area, fleeing the USSR, and came here, or was it also people becoming Christians because of what happened there?
It was all worked in the.
Don't feel like you have to give me an answer if you don't really feel like you have an answer. So just looking for your opinion.
I have an answer for that. It's just it's kind of a long one.
Yeah.
People came to America, became Christian. It works. It's not the same story for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Majority of it was people who were hated, who were killed for being Christian and proclaiming Jesus' name. And America gave them refuge. A lot of people get a green card here, and they just mad that how freely Christianity is here. How you don't have to be scared of proclaiming what you believe in.
Yeah.
And that's how they found Jesus here. It's not the same story for everybody. It's just majority of people came here by white card, and that white card was because of the religion situation back in USSR.
I haven't heard that term before. White card, is that just a refugee?
Refugee card.
Okay, okay.
Green card is permanent one. The white card is just a refugee card.
All right. I learn something every time I talk to somebody. Right on. So you look pretty young. Do you remember living? Did you come here, or did your family come here? Were you born here?
No, I came here right. The reason why I came here was the revolution.
Uh-huh.
So after revolution happened...
I'm not familiar with you called it the Euro Revolution? When was this?
It was 2014.
14?
2014, that's the winter. That's what Ukraine mostly known about. That's where the ex-president ran away to Russia, and that's where part of Ukraine wanted to join Euro, and part of Ukraine just wanted to stay with Russia, and that's where the breakdown happened, and that's where the war happened. That was that period of time.
I remember not too long ago, Russia was like encroaching on the borders. They had soldiers crossing the border inappropriate, and I remember Russia was saying that was that more recently, or was it in 2014?
That's been going on back and forth for last. I've been here for 6 years. 6 years.
Oh, I'm ignorant to this. I got to go read up on the Euro Revolution tonight.
Yeah, all of this is all this war, all this revolution. It's all one big political games where all this revolution started for a good cause. Same thing happened. Students wanted to share their opinion and become the part of the Europe Association, but the way the government handled it, and there was about a couple hundred students downtown just gathering here, no fights, no nothing, no signs. They're just like, we want to become part of Europe. And what our president decided to do, or whoever tried to do this, they just called a whole bunch of cops, and there's a video of it, the really first one, how there was a whole bunch of cops just beating up on kids and students.
Wow.
Enough is enough.
So somebody in my chat says it's what you're talking about is also called the Ukraine coup.
I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different names. They keep upgrading.
Okay.
It was. I mean, that's the thing. That's what broke down like the whole entire. It was actually breaking down the community, because all of this revolution brought down people in two halves: pro-Ukrainian and pro-Russians.
Yeah.
That's why right now there was a major breakdown between two communities. Ukrainian community and Russian community. Even Ukrainians that were more on the Russian side, same as Russians. Like families broke down. It was like families used to be friends, never knew really the difference between them.
Yeah.
But politics used it to their advantage, and they brought up this issue. And all of a sudden, the whole entire community just broke apart, and it still stays strong right now. It's just, if I'm Ukrainian and I'll meet another guy who's Russian, most likely we'll get into a huge argument within 5 minutes after I tell him that I'm Ukrainian, and he tells me he's Russian.
Huh.
And all of this is part of it is just politicians. It's all political games. It was war. It was war that made both sides a lot of money, and that's all.
Spin around this way. I keep listening to you though.
Yeah, that's what all of this is about. All of this is just there's always good cause, and there's going to be people angry, frustrated, and they'll go out and they're trying to do something. You know, we can't just sit down. We need to do something about it. And it seems like there's always going to be a group of people who will take advantage of it.
Yeah.
There's always a group of people who will take their anger, manipulate it the way they want it to.
I agree. I'm having one thing a question in my mind in the last few months watching all this. Sometimes a lot of the riots have not been very peaceful at all. But a few of them have started out as a peaceful event. I have been to a few peaceful events, but it only takes a few provocateurs to turn it into an unrest. And so I'm wondering how, in a multicultural society with people having different views, drastically different views and different perspectives, how do we keep events that are supposedly peaceful, how do we keep them to stay peaceful when there's so many different points of views and so many people have different agendas?
You saw what happened there when there was a lot of... right behind the stage, there was a group of people who tried to push their opinion, who tried to start the conflict. I really like how this organization dealt with it. They all turn around and start praying and raise their hands, just sing louder. It's just.
I was actually doing a tour through what used to be CHOP, and I missed that part.
Yeah. No, there was.
Did anybody actually get physical?
No, there was attempts, but no.
Yeah.
No, this is not like again. I was here with this worshipers. Like this is not what they were staying here for. They were staying here for Black Lives Matter too.
Yeah.
That was their proclamation. People came out and they give like our community needs to be united.
Yeah.
And they don't need to take like for some reason it turns out to like. For some reason they want to make us think that like it's white against black and like whites is Christian, so it's like Christian against not Christian. It's not what it is. It's a community.
Hey, Rockman. Can you keep your eye on Black Conservative preacher up there too? If you're looking, he's in an orange shirt up there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's got a guy in his face right now, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on him. So.
All right.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna go ahead.
So there's some people that target us for recording these events and recording what's happening in the riots. But thank you so much for your information. I found you got a lot of information. I'd like to pick your brain another time. Can I reach out to you on Twitter or Facebook or something?
I try to be off of social media as much as possible.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for the interview you gave me. I really appreciate your point of view. You stay safe, man. Glad to have you in this country.
God bless you.
All right, bye. So I'm gonna walk up here real quick and just get some footage. Okay. Okay, most of the Christian revival people seem to have gone. There's a growing presence of the agitator, protester types. So go up here and just get a view of what's going on. So still a lot of church people. I gotta tell you guys, like conservative Christian women they're pretty sexy. Contrasting to women that are going around screaming in men's faces and cutting their hair off, and conservative Christian ladies are some beautiful, kind people. So it looks like a prayer circle. Probably a little bit. I'm not in black bloc. I don't look like an Antifa, but I do have a gray neck gaiter over my nose. So I'm sure people are kind of wondering what I think they're talking in tongues. So yeah, that's what they're doing. So if you guys aren't aware, some sects of Christianity do that thing where they call it speaking in tongues. They kind of make sounds, and from what I've heard, they believe it's like a prayer language. But when I was involved in churches, I've been to some churches where they do that. But I've always tried to steer away from that kind of stuff. It doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know. I haven't found a reason to see it as legit. So that Andy from next to me is trying to find my stream to see who I am. So that's what she was doing right there. So more and more people show up. So if you guys aren't familiar with Christianity, I think these guys are doing what's called a lay hands on people, and like they're praying for him. Sometimes that can be a little kind of strange. Sometimes it's just praying for people and touching people, like kind of like patting somebody on the back, showing his affection. But I don't know. Like I said, I try to stay away from the weirder things of Christianity. They kind of spook me out a little bit. This Antifa chick is following me around, trying to figure out who I am. So I just keep. What'd you say? You ever felt the Holy Spirit? I was just talking about that. It's something I don't necessarily know if I believe that that's a real thing. And really? I've seen a lot of weird things go on people that claim that is a weird thing. Right. Like, in Benny Hinn, like, you ever seen the Benny Hinn show where he like throws a fireball, an invisible fireball, and knocks the whole crowd over? Harushna, like on Mortal Kombat. Yeah. I know I'm being facetious, but I kind of stay away from stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you can't blame people for who the Holy Spirit is, because he is a real person. and He loves you, and every human was formed and created in God's image.
Yeah.
And He wants to touch your heart because He knows exactly where you're at, who you are. He knows every hair on your head.
All right.
He loves you.
Yeah.
He loves you. He loves you.
Okay.
And so it's not about some weird power like you're saying.
Yeah.
It's about just your heart knowing who God is. The power of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And I'd love to pray for you and see if you feel the Holy Spirit.
I don't want to do that. You can pray for me, but I don't want you to like lay hands on me or try to do any like weird things with me. So I try to stay away from things that I don't understand or learning about. So I don't like to go. I think it's a bad paraphrase, and it's not all from the Bible. But the heart is a lonely and wicked hunter, and it is deceitful in all ways. Pray to a deity and have him make you feel something to know if he's true or not. Because people in all different religions do that. So how do I know if I pray to Angel Moroni or to Joseph Smith in the Mormon Church, and then I feel the burning of the bosom? Does that mean that the Mormon God is the God that's true? Because there's a lot of Mormons that feel that, and they were confirmed in their beliefs. There's also there's also Hindus that do deep meditation, and they have a transcendent experience that confirms their belief.
That's through Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
I'll pray for you, and I won't touch you.
All right. Well, you can just I go by VillainPhoenix. I'm a streamer online. I've been documenting the riots for a couple months and showing what's really happened. Yeah, I transported the 14-year-old boy to the hospital that night. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was here filming that night. So that's my first night back here since that happened. So it was kind of crazy walking up here and remembering what it was like that night, and then seeing how peaceful it was earlier. So it was nice.
Yeah, my wife and I came up here, and we were feeding people over there on that side over there.
Yeah.
We were feeding people and hanging out with people, and many people got saved and healed and delivered and baptized and filled with the Holy Spirit.
Honestly, I steer away from that kind of stuff. I believe that the Bible is very, very wise, and there's a lot of good philosophy in there. I don't know. I haven't found a reason to believe the resurrection was real. I'm hung up on that, but I believe in God. I believe the Bible, the God described in the Bible is the God that I think exists. I have a hard time with the certain extraordinary claims in the Bible. But when people jump to emotions and try to put their hands on me and try to get when I see people do
I'm talking about truth.
I know, but what I mean when people start trying to get me to have a feeling to confirm something, and people speak in tongues and people lay their hands on people and people fall over backwards, and I steer away from that kind of stuff because I think it's in my opinion, the Western culture and the Christian tradition is founded on the logos and reason. And in the Old Testament, God says to Abraham, "Come reason with me." I think that jumping straight to those feelings is dangerous.
Repentance simply means changing your mind.
I agree, but that doesn't really have what we were talking about, though. That's not what we were talking about.
Repentance means simply changing your mind.
I agree.
So there's an intellectual part of faith, meaning I choose to love God with all of my will, my soul, my heart, my mind, and my will.
Yeah.
If I don't will to love God, I won't love God. If I don't will to know that
I love God.
No, I'm not saying you don't. Hear me out. I'm not saying you don't. If I don't understand that I have all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and if I don't understand that I have a sin issue that separates me from God, I need Jesus.
I'm having a hard time following you because you're jumping around to a bunch of different ideas and different topics. Why are you saying these things right now?
Because I'm preaching the gospel.
Okay.
The gospel of Jesus.
Okay.
Okay. So each one of us is made in the image of God. Eat the fruit. Sin entered the world. Not one person on this planet is free. Is free from sin. Not one person on this earth is free from sin, right? And because not one person is free from sin, we need Jesus, who went to the cross, laid his life down for us, his blood spilled out as ransom to pay for our sin, so that we can have free life in Jesus Christ.
I understand the story of the gospel.
Right, so we can bring heaven, the nature of heaven.
I understand this. I know this story. I'm not trying to be rude, but you're preaching at me, but you're not teaching me anything. I know this story, and you're not having a dialogue with me. You're just preaching at me right now. I understand the Christian story.
Right.
I have not found a reason to believe it was literal. I believe the philosophy of self-sacrifice. I believe that all things work together for those to good. I have a hang up on the Jesus part, but I believe that God is going to use everything for good. I believe that there's more to this reality. I believe that there's a choice in life to continue in sin. Sin is missing the mark. It's being anything less than perfect, and to strive towards perfection and strive towards God. But so. I'm just getting a little frustrated because you're preaching at me, and it's you're if you I'm trying to tell you that I've heard this story, but if you believe me, then I don't understand why you're still trying to tell me the story, because I understand the story of Christianity. I haven't found a reason to believe that the resurrection of the Christ or some of the other extraordinary claims in the Bible were literal. Like, I can find meaning in the story of the resurrection, definitely. The idea that God has paid for everything, God has taken care of everything. It's all in His control, and our inadequacy is covered by His adequacy. I understand that, and the story of the Bible, or Genesis, where the fall of man, their choice and to enter away from truth and towards their own self. I believe in that too, and I believe in that runs through the nature of reality. I believe all that, and I don't necessarily see a need for those things to be literally true, to find the metaphorical, the philosophical, the understandings of truth within those. I do understand that if the Christ did actually literally rise from the dead, then that is a pinnacle of a whole different meaning to those things, and I just have not found that to be true. Somebody else in the chat earlier mentioned Lee Sobel's The Case for Christ. It's a book and a movie. I've read it and I've watched the movie. I didn't find it convincing. I found that he started looking into evidence, and at one point he abandoned the search for evidence and just let his emotions take over. And I don't think that's valuable. I think partly that is why Christianity is in such a crushed state in the Western world today, is because we've left the teaching, the rebuke, the edification of the mind and the logos, and we've gone towards emotion and feeling and making people feel good in the moment and feel like they've. I'm very skeptical of the born again emotional movement, the evangelical movement, because I think that there's no need to abandon the rationality of the mind to find the wisdom of God that we clearly see in nature. I find that what we're seeing in things like this and in society as a whole match up with Romans 1 and the turning away from God and worshiping the creature rather than the creator. But as I said very many times, and I'm not trying to dig on you, but I am just trying to be honest. I feel like you're coming at me and trying to get me to have an emotional experience, and I don't want to do that because I want to have an intellectual, mental experience. Because I find in my own history and just intellectually that those emotional situations cause people to go down paths that are really, really weird, and I don't think they always make sense. And a lot of times they cause a lot of discord. I'm sure that if you've been doing this long enough, you've been a part of a church that split, and maybe that church split, and then they keep splitting, and everybody just keeps following their emotions, and sometimes I wonder if that's the mustard tree that Jesus talked about that became a great giant tree, and the birds and the beasts came and settled in it, because the mustard tree is actually a little bush, not a big tree. And I see the Christian church splintering into all these different disagreeing factions, and it becomes something overgrown and something not good. So I'm not trying to be hard on you, but I am going to say I'm not for what you're trying to preach at me. I don't like that emotional stuff. I think that we need to follow God with the mind. God says, He says in the Old Testament to come reason with me. He does not say come feel with me. So I don't see any place in the Bible that talks about seeking an emotion or an emotional confirmation of.
Love the Lord God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind.
Yes, I agree.
Soul.
I don't see how that relates with what I was just saying, though.
Love the Lord God with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. Your soul is where your mind, your will, and your emotions are.
I think that could be debated. That the
I mean, you could debate it. That's your opinion.
Love the God with all your what?
Your heart, your soul, and your mind.
I think the heart would be what you were talking about. Would be described as the emotions in that parable, or in that analogy. Another, it's phrased differently in.
The heart is actually the spirit.
It's also sometimes phrased in the Bible as the body, soul, and spirit. It says it different ways in certain times. So if the heart is the spirit, then what is the soul?
The soul is the emotional state of a human being. It's your intellect. It's your understanding.
Yeah. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that the intellect is part of our body, because we can have damage to our body and it damages the intellect. So I don't know. We're getting too far apart from each other. You know, let's find something. Let's find a point where we're closer on, and then we can actually come into the discussion on.
A few things that I agree with. You believe in the gospel story.
I believe in the value of the gospel story. I haven't come to believe that happened.
Right. And so the Bible says without the resurrection, it loses the power of salvation.
But the Bible is the one saying that. The story that's saying the resurrection happened is also the story saying that it loses its meaning. So it's circular reasoning there. You have to believe that already to come to see that as a valuable thing to say. So
right.
If
I believe in the power of salvation, I believe in the power of the resurrection.
I believe in the power of salvation and the power of redemption. Not quite the same as you. I'm not quite there, but I believe that the acts of love by a human person can redeem another human from their depravity and their pain and their injustice. Love actually has the power to redeem another human being, and I believe that.
Yeah, if you do under the least of these, right? You do it under the least of these. You're walking out. You're doing it to me. So Jesus said, "You're doing it to me."
All right.
So the hurting, the broken, the marginalized, those that need help for them, the orphans, the widows. And you're doing it unto me, Jesus said.
A minute. I gotta pause for a second to be polite to my people. I got a $50 super chat from Paul True. That 180 difference can happen not only in a place, but in every heart. Jesus, our found peace, purpose, and life. Villain, please watch The Case for Christ, a journalist investigation by Lee Strobel. He's got a link there. It's a great resource. I have watched that. I mentioned that just a minute ago. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that greatly.
So,
I'm sorry.
My wife is asking me we have to go. So.
Okay, all right. I understand.
Thank you for your conversation.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the ideas and the Discord. How you doing, man?
Got you a donation too, my
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I've been following you since Shop Chaz Day and stuff.
Yeah.
I seriously thank you so much for your reporting. I appreciate it.
Right on.
I know it's dangerous, but
thanks, man. I don't know if you want to say your name on here, but what do you want me to call you?
My name is Howie.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of free speech, First Amendment.
Where do you follow me on?
Twitter. I think
Twitter?
Facebook or Twitter.
Send me a message, and sometimes it's hard for me to associate people I meet in public and their presence online. So just let me know who you were, and I'll chat up with you. But thanks for talking. I interrupted you. You said you've been following me, and then you stand up for free speech and.
Yeah, First Amendment. I saw you. I gotta get accosted by some people. You know what I mean?
I actually got jumped and mugged and robbed too.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not good.
Yeah.
I wish people eventually, a year or two, will see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because I feel like your story as a journalist, getting mobbed, getting beat up, it doesn't get picked up on the New York Times. It doesn't get picked up on the Washington Post. You know?
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. And I don't want to. I want to downplay us a little bit. Citizen journalist, independent truther. You know, I'm doing the acts of journalists. You know, But the thing is, the First Amendment isn't just for an organization. It's not just for some place like CNN. It's for everybody to have the right to go out and speak and to document and to share that information with other people. And as you are seeing with me, and I'm sure you watch many other people, there's a movement right now where the media is changing. The way that we get information across the world right now is changing drastically, and it's people like me, the Black conservative preacher, and many other people that are going to the event live, and people are trusting that form of information far more than the biased news medias that are trying to shape they're not just giving us information, they're trying to tell us how to view that and how to think about it. So thank you so much for coming up to me and saying hey, and can I ask you, were you out here at this event, or did you see my stream and come out, or what brings you out tonight?
I was here earlier. I saw it on the stream. Then I went out for 20 minutes, and I had one mask, so I put on a double mask. Just to be safe.
Yeah.
And then I saw you on the Seattle Protest Network. I'm like, oh, VillainPhoenix, I know that guy.
Yeah.
So I was gonna come out and just.
Right on, man.
In person, you know what I mean? So,
good to meet you, man.
What brought you up here, though?
So this Black conservative preacher over there, he's a person I affiliate with conservative, Common Sense Conservative Media Group. He's also down in the Portland area, and I've been down there a lot filming, and I've just run into him a lot. And so he went to the revival last night in Portland. The same group was there. And then I went to Seaside last night. Okay. And so I was curious about what happened, and he said it was happening again here today. So we decided to hop in the car and come and film this area. So it's crazy. This is the first time I've been back to Chop since the morning after the shooting. So I was feeling like anxiety and adrenaline as I was coming into the park, and to see hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people peacefully. I'm not all completely in the same category as them, but I do believe in God. but to have that peaceful presence and have people like expressing their love for God in a place that just a month ago people were getting killed, so it was such a transforming thing. It was overwhelming for me when I walked in here. So
it gets me too though. Is like, why do they wear the masks? Like, what's so hard about that? You know, like, it hurts. Wear the mask. You know? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you're saying that the Christian people should be wearing the mask?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people. I'm actually one of them.
Yeah.
I don't believe that COVID is what we're being told it is.
Yeah.
And me and a friend were talking about this today. And you know how like all the laws around COVID don't seem to match up a lot, and they're not enforcing mask laws a lot of times.
Yeah.
But then the news was like blowing up yesterday about the revival event in Portland and how so many of them weren't wearing masks.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that just don't match up. And you look at that and I see like if it was a movement founded on truth and legitimacy, things would make sense more.
Yeah.
But there's so many drastic ways across the country they're dealing with this. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into the COVID conspiracy, but needless to say, a lot of people just don't believe it, you know, and we have the right in America to act on our beliefs and not be forced to act on somebody else's beliefs. So, but anyway, you obviously believe in the mask and see it as a sign of respect, and I appreciate you acting on your beliefs for that, you know?
Well, think of it this way, like if you want to go buy some like ground beef or whatever, meat, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be U.S. Department of, like, the government has to certify that meat, right?
Yeah. Try to speak up a little bit because my microphone's horrible and it's really loud.
Oh, sorry. So you want to buy some meat?
Yeah.
In a grocery store, it's got to be passed by the feds to say it's acceptable, right?
Uh-huh.
You want to drive there, you have to put your seatbelt on a government highway.
Yeah.
You got to pay taxes for the military. Well, I'm kind of asking you to wear a mask in public.
Yeah. So I'm hit and miss on some of those. Like I don't think that the government needs to have so much control over our food. I think that people can make those decisions. You can buy from a reputable business.
Yeah.
You can also. I don't think that the government should force me to wear a seatbelt. I would like to be more libertarian and have the right to make my own safety decisions. I don't know what this chick is doing, but she's pointing whatever that box is. I think it's probably an undercover camera or something. Yeah, she is. She's been following me. She's been trying to switch me my mind and everything.
It's like censoring, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not good. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think you're welcome to walk with me. I'm gonna touch base with some of my guys here real quick. You want to join me, or okay?
Maybe the Seattle Police Department will actually do their job and arrest them for breaking the law.
Come back here.
Probably not.
Yes. Hey.
I rule the world and free all my sons.
Sure thing. Yeah, it is. Sure thing. I'm following your lead.
Huh?
I'll follow your lead.
Okay.
Good being out here with you guys. Thanks for coming out here.
Welcome. You're welcome.
I'm the Rock Man. I'm watching my boy.
Yeah.
Really good. I like to. There's so many people out here, and if they're still out here, over numbers of educators.
Yeah.
Bad. You have a lot of courage to say that.
Let's go.
Well, that's what we're called to do. We're called to be bold and flying. That's what the Bible calls Christians to be. More than conquerors.
So why run? You know, David didn't run, right?
That's right. Your hat says fear of God on it, right? Yeah, you can get a hat just like that, actually. That'd be amazing.
All this running away and being gentle and hey.
I don't see you walking out today.
Yeah, no, I've got a secondary cover.
All right. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, I took your picture. You can take mine.
Conservatives, Christians, buck up. Buck up. Get with it.
Good to see all of you. See, you can tell the smiles between like
I'm gonna step on this side of you.
Worship, and then the angry snarls of like the educators.
Yeah. So let's follow my lead, okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's go this way. So I want to shout out Paul True again for the $50 spot. That was really nice of you and very generous. $50 super chat. I appreciate that a lot. So you mentioned the Lee Strobel, the Case for Christ. I have read that book and I've seen the movie. I'll be honest, I didn't find it convincing. I felt like he sought evidence to a certain point, and then he felt an emotional conviction, and finally was led to Christ by an emotional conviction. So I'd rather have him write a book directed more of his emotional conviction, and I'd like to see him argue for that than otherwise. But, I do still have the book, and I've been thinking about reading it again, because you know how certain things speak to you differently in different points of life. So maybe I'll read that and do a review on it on my channel. So it's Seattle Police over there, so that's pretty good. We got the Medic 1 actually driving in through CHOP. That's a new thing. They were pretty much forbidden from coming in here for a while. So you guys, we're gonna get out of here. So we got a whole caravan of people coming in. I don't know what police agency that is. Probably sheriff, maybe. They look different than the other group. But we're gonna shut it down here in a minute. The park is almost all protest or Antifa types now. They're starting to kind of probe what they can get away with. So we're gonna get out of here. So I'm gonna mute the screen just for a minute. Hey, hold on a second. So here's a friend wants to shout out to one of my mods, MM.
Who?
MM is a friend of yours. I'm VillainPhoenix, if you don't realize who you're talking to.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Hey, Molly.
All right.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah. So he didn't recognize me. I met him once or twice, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Great worship tonight. Great. The protesters are here. It brings out the when the light comes into darkness, it scares them, and they're saying it's their park. We didn't get a chance to talk about how they came down to Portland.
Yeah.
And destroy our city.
Yeah.
And vice versa, when Portlanders come up and destroy their city. Well, all we do is pray over this. It was a beautiful night. It was great to see community and with the people out here tonight. It was an amazing event. I knew it was going to be difficult, but everybody held their ground. God protected us. God let it happen, and it was beautiful. We had a few incidences, but nothing physical really. Yet, with the presence of God, and plus when I'm 60, I'm pretty big. They back off real quick, but it's all good. It's all good. It was Pastor Charles from Minnesota was amazing. Great man. Sean was amazing. Different people spoke tonight, but it was just a great thing. So it's just a great night tonight.
Do you want to say who you are at all?
Hi, they already know me, Rick Anderson.
He likes to be around the Portland area mostly, helps out with the homeless people and tries to encourage people with the Christian faith, and a pretty good guy down there. He's also been streaming some of the events, and I think you've been attacked once or twice, right?
I've been more than that. They've been not really attacked. They tried to confront me with 15 to 30 people.
Yeah.
And I've told them they wanted to fight me, and I said, if you want to, let's go.
Yeah.
And they don't like that because I've seen them afterwards. I see them when they're not at night. I see them in Park Rose. I see them in Southeast when they don't have their get-ups on, and then they're like, oh crap. As you know, my band is well known.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of Chomp. I was escorted out of here by 30 people.
Yeah.
When it was going. And they know, they go, you're from Portland. I said, yep. Yeah. So I'm not afraid. I mean, God, I haven't been harmed at all.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I do know why, because God's got it.
It doesn't hurt to be a giant, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true, too. All right. God bless you.
God bless you, man.
That,
Yeah. All right, you have a good night.
Now they're just thinking they're stealing the water, and I left it there for them. It was donated.
Yeah.
So the protesters are like walking off the cases like, oh no, it was donated, bro.
All right.
So more power to them.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
Whoops.
God
bless.
All right, you guys, we're going to call it here. I guess we'll walk up the street and I'll shut off the chat here in a minute. This way. So I'd like to say thank you. I see another super chat in there. Lady Katie, excuse me, 1999. Thank you so much for the love, support. Appreciate that. So I'm going to get off here in just a minute and shut the stream down. Look at the chat while we're walking up this one block and then see if I can respond to anything real quick. Have you ever considered studying any text through an esoteric lens? No, I've never really looked down that route. You're going to make me get online and Google esoteric and get a little bit more familiar with that tonight, so I'll do that. Red, white, and blue, thank you for the big super chat tonight. Thank you so much. And ISIS doesn't wear a mask and don't like social distancing and still go to mosque. Be like ISIS. I don't know what that means. So I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom here. I want to shout out to my mods. I know I see MM in there. Oh, I've only set up one mod. This is YouTube. So thank you so much, MM, for helping out modding tonight. And thank you guys for doing your part to keep the chat room civil. I do want to keep this a free speech chat. So thank you so much for trying to respect people and keep it civil. All right, I'm gonna shut down here. If anybody has anything last to say real quick, I'll try to see if I see it.
I'm looking forward for the next revival.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to be here earlier. I want to say hi to more people.
All right, you guys. I'm gonna shut it down here.
Cool. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you. I think I'm going to head back to the house.
Yeah, nice to meet you again, Rockman.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to shut this down real quick and say goodbye to you real quick. So I'm shutting down. Say thanks for the help, gang. I'm sure there's some eaters in there tonight. Eat. Thank you guys so much for the support. And again, if you want to help me with citizen journalism, you can check out the links in the chat. And there are my social media links. You can like, subscribe, and follow. I'm the Villain Report on Facebook. I am at Villain_Phoenix on Twitch. You guys are watching me right now. VillainPhoenix on YouTube. I'm also VillainPhoenix, one word, on Twitch. I think I just misspoke. On Twitter, I'm Villain_Phoenix, at Villain_Phoenix on Twitter. And if you guys want to help with my efforts of citizen journaling, independent journalism, you can find me at Cash App. It's one of the easiest, $VillainPhoenix. Cash App is $VillainPhoenix. On Venmo is at Villain_Phoenix, at Villain_Phoenix on Venmo. The PayPal is thevillainreport@gmail.com, my email, thevillainreport@gmail.com on PayPal. And then there is also a GoFundMe up, and that link is at the top of my, so that's an iconic security there. Those are good guys. I met them. My GoFundMe is villainreport@gmail.com. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I got thrown off there because of the iconic. So my GoFundMe is pinned on the top of my Twitter wall. It's also in the description of this video. And I do thank you all for those of you that helped me out in many different ways. Thank you for those that have helped me out financially and giving information, support, and backup. And I hope to keep moving forward. I'd like to organize some groups coming up, but I thank you all so much for your support. I am going to get off here real quick so we can get out of this neighborhood. Thank you all so much, and you guys have a good night, and I will let you know when I'm going live again soon. Thank you so much. And to Josh Ojo, you're still in the chat, thank you so much. I didn't see that those are 3 separate super chats last night. I did read them all. He made a funny joke about me being similar to the masked vigilante in V for Vendetta, and that was supposed to take place in this time period. But thanks, Josh. I tried to call you recently, so I'll reach out to you. You guys have a good night. I'm out. Villain Report out.